Hello guys, this is Dan and Rachel Russell, and we just wanted to introduce ourselves to you in case some of you don't know who we are. I'm an elder with Involved Church, and this is my beautiful bride. So we wanted to introduce ourselves a little bit and share some things that have been on our heart during this very odd time. Wanted to just ask Rachel to share a little bit about how she's been dealing with the quarantine stuff and all of that.
That's my cue. So we have 4 kids at home, and extra people live with us, and we all just are staying here. So we have started school, which I know is unique. Not everybody has started school again. So that has really helped. I love the fact that I'm not having to set my schedule based on school. When I'm dropping the kids off, when I'm picking them up, working back nap time so that everybody has good naps when we have to pick them up. I love that. But it also means that I have to come up with a whole new routine of how to do stuff and how to make sure I'm finding my time with God, because now that looks completely different because I have 4 kids all the time that I am trying to do their schoolwork with, and just trying to keep them like going on activities and keep our day moving forward so that we don't get at the end of the day, we didn't have a complete day where we didn't do anything, but also they didn't feel like I was making them do something all day. Like finding that balance, like that has been something that has I've been really mindful of, because I know that even though this is a different schedule for me and it's a little different schedule for them, when they look back on this in like 15 years, this is just going to have been a really fun time for them where they get to have done school with mom and we did all these different activities. And I want them to look back on this not as a stressful time and not as a worry time, but as a time where we got extra family time. And so a lot of that tone though is set by me, and making sure that I am not projecting anxious and worry. And so I'm being mindful of that all while I'm trying to like keep our routine into a new routine and all of that. So that's a little bit, I think, a little bit of my window of my day.
Would you say that your norm are naturally anti-anxious and anti-worry?
Oh yeah. No, I'm not. I was always told by my mom that I got a worry gene. Like when I was in grade school, I would get so worried, I was like throwing up. And before I went to camp for the first time, I was like throwing up all night. I remember that. And so I would literally worry making myself to the point where I was sick. And so that is something that as I've gotten older, the Bible actually says a lot about controlling your mind, thinking about what God would have us think about. And just like the story, the mom of Moses, right? And that was a time where she had to be greatly worried and anxious. Like she was protecting her baby boy, he was 3 months old, from the Egyptians. And when she couldn't protect him anymore, she put him in a basket and she let God. And so thinking through, like putting those worries into our basket and kind of like setting them on the stream and just like letting God do it.
That's good. Yeah, worry is something I dealt with as a child, I guess, or kind of growing up. But one of the things that drew me to Christ was this idea that He is the Prince of Peace and that He would carry my burdens. And so I wanted to share with you a verse that's kind of been with me ever since I came to know Christ. And if you've heard my testimony, you've probably heard me share it. But this comes from Matthew 11, 28 to 30. And Jesus says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And so, just like Rachel was sharing about wanting to emulate that for our kids, that hopefully this isn't too worrisome a time for them, but for us, knowing what's going on in the world and how people are struggling, both physically and spiritually, emotionally.
Even mentally.
We want to be able to point people back to the one who brings peace and the one whom we can cast our burdens upon, and he'll take them. And so that's something I've lived with ever since I came to faith in Christ, and it's been an immense help to me. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Rachel kind of touched on it, but in this midst of a new schedule and everything, one of the difficulties is really being intentional to reach out and communicate, connect with people, because we don't have those normal interactions. So I don't know, what are you doing to help with that?
This might come as a surprise to some of you, but I'm a big people person. I love people. And so I just have a lot of opportunities all through my week, normally built in to like stop and talk to people. And so I can check in with them. I can see how they're doing. I don't have that anymore. And so, while I do love the fact that I'm not doing basketball 6 days a week like I was, and I'm not like spending every evening getting supper on the table by 5 so that we can get out the door by 5:30 or 6, I am missing all that time that I get to spend with people and checking in with my friends. And so what I've had to do is just be super intentional on reaching out. And I feel like Dan was talking to me and he said, well, isn't it easier? And I said, no, in fact, I think it's a little harder. Like, I just have to be a lot more intentional about making sure that I'm sending out texts, or I'm doing phone calls, or I'm doing Zooms. I'm even sending out some fun happy mail as I like find stuff around the house that reminds me of the people in my life. Like, oh, this book, this would be amazing for so-and-so to read. I think I'm gonna send it to them. Just something that lets them know that I'm thinking about them. Before we were at our stay at home, actually I would do little deliveries for 31, and I was taking chalk and I was like chalking everybody's sidewalk, so that, or if I was in the, like dropping something off and I was in one of my friends' other neighborhoods, like I would go and I would chalk their sidewalk too, just as a reminder that I was thinking about them. And I would love to hear your guys' ideas on how you're staying connected. We painted Easter eggs today. We're gonna put in the window so that fun people can do Easter egg hunts or like walking around. But I would love to hear your ideas on how you're intentionally keeping connected with people. I feel like the more ideas we can get, the more it does really help us stay connected, especially if you not only in this time, but I do think I'm an extrovert and I love people and I love making those connections. And so anything that you all think of, maybe you're thinking of something I haven't thought of and I would love to do it.
Yeah, so I'm not as good at this stuff as she is, but I'm kind of I help the house stay worry-free, but intentional stuff, she's the bomb. But we do want to make sure that you know that we're available to you, as are the other elders and their wives. So reach out. If you're watching this on Facebook, you go ahead and comment below, and then we can start some interaction that way. Tell us what's going on. Just let's continue to be connected and communicate. So we love you guys, and hope to be talking with you soon.